So, Amazon delays its MMO New World again. World colonization will be pushed back to a later date. Amazon Game Studios delayed its upcoming MMO New World to fall 2021. What do you mean fall 2021? It's September 28th. There's an actual date. When they say fall 2021, I'm like, there's a date. Don't just say fall. This is the most recent of multiple delays for the game. We know that this is the first time we've changed our launch. I'm happy that they're delaying it. I actually think they should delay it a lot more. Because I don't think the game is ready yet. I really don't think New World is ready yet. I think it'll be fun for a while, but I don't think it's there. I think they have a ways to go, which is one of the reasons, like, I didn't actually get to play as much of New World as I wanted to, because obviously last week I wasn't here, which was the week during which the beta was available. We did stream it a little bit, but I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. So one of the things that I wanted to do today is actually check out a video by Strife Hayes, who does a lot of MMO content. And I wanted to check this out. Because, oh, look at that. No, stop. No, go back. I want the other ad. Damn it. I didn't get the other ad. You guys heard about the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV trial? It includes the legendary expansion Heaven's Word. You can play up to level 60. Getting a Final Fantasy XIV ad in one of my streams is so good. So good. But, yeah. We're going to be checking out this Strife Hayes video because I want to see what he has to say about New World. I'm assuming that he probably played a lot more hours than I did because I only got to play a couple of hours. I did like some of the stuff. I think that the game improved significantly from the previous beta that I had played, but I didn't actually do any PvP this time around, so I don't know how that stuff was working, if the balance was better, because last time the PvP balance was completely and utterly atrocious. It was terrible. But yeah, I thought it was fun, but I don't know if it'd be something that I would play for a long time. Let's see what Josh has to say about it.
Jeffrey Bezos literally went to space because he earns over $300 million a day and doesn't know what else to do with it. Meanwhile, Amazon Games can't program a running animation and are clearly using a server they found dumped in a canal somewhere. New World, let's do this. Ladies and...
That didn't happen to me. That's an interesting walking animation.
And gentlemen, welcome, I'm Strife Hayes. Today, we're going to be playing Amazon Games Studios' new MMORPG, New World. Now, in order to set our expectations correct...
Dude, what? Do you guys remember in my stream? I've never seen this happen. What the hell? His character's like walking on.
Let's remember.
It's like that It's like those videos that you have where someone just go like boo, just like friggin' stop motion.
Remember the most successful game Amazon Game Studios has released so far, Airport Mania HD.
This is the most successful game Amazon Studios has released so far. Hey, look, it's got 4 stars. Can't be that bad. Amazon released, like, didn't they release some kind of like a battle royale game or something like that, and then they unreleased it? Wasn't that a thing? I think that was a thing a while back. They released it, and then they instantly unreleased it. It was weird. It's also weird that Starship... What's it called? Star Citizen? Star Citizen is being developed with the Amazon Lumberyard engine. So it's like they have an engine, but apparently this is the best game that they've ever released. It's so weird.
In fact, it was so successful, it spawned a sequel. Then...
Oh, wow. It has a sequel. Airport Mania 2, Wild Trips HD.
Then they started to work on the new Lord of the Rings MMO right up until they decided to not keep making that because they fell out with Tencent, and both companies threw their toys out the pram and sat there seeing who could ignore the other the hardest. So straight off the bat, you know we are dealing with professionals. New World has been in development for a few years now, and for some strange reason, Amazon didn't send me a beta key. Maybe the guy who was sending out beta keys got called away just before he reached my name and had to tuck Jeffrey into his nice shiny spacesuit. So
I was very lucky with the beta because I didn't get a key. I could have requested one, but I didn't. I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I was like very indecisive. But then at the last hour, I was like, you know, I'd really like to play this game. And I saw on my Twitter feed that my good friend Fightin' Cowboy was just asking, hey, any creators need keys for New World? And I was like, hey, Fightin' Cowboy, can you hook me up? And he just sent me a key. Fightin' Cowboy is awesome, dude.
I tweeted about this absolute miscarriage of justice, and lo and behold, the absolutely majestic Yorkshire tea-sipping Knight of the Realm himself, the spiffing Brit, sent me a beta code like the absolute gentleman he is. So, New World. Basically, a few years ago, Amazon shouted,
What's with this running animation, dude?
hey, who wants a full loot hardcore PvP territory control MMO? And about 5 people put their hands up. But then 3 of them went to play Mortal Online 2, and the other 2 realised, actually, they don't want that. So Amazon said, hey, who wants a PvP-focused crafting-heavy MMO with area control? And the entire player base of Life is Feudal, about 20 people, looked up and slowly started to show an interest. So then they released the alpha, and it turns out when you tell players who live to grief others to make their own fun, their version of fun actually isn't. So Amazon Games finally said, okay, how about we add some PvE challenges?
It's almost like we were just talking about this. From his description, I kind of feel like the games that they were working on before before they started changing it, it seems like it would have been better. These other ideas that they're talking about actually seem way better, dude. Are they talking to me directly? Exactly, Knockstop.
And an actual plot, and make it somewhat solo-friendly, and make PvP voluntary opt-in to prevent further griefing, and now we're getting somewhere. If you pre-ordered the game for $40, you'll get access to the beta. That's correct, you are paying to test their game. You would have assumed they could have taken some of the army of Amazon employees to test it, but no, clearly the QA budget went on Jeff's penis rocket. Opening cinematic, rainy streets with dude in cool metal mask reminiscent of 16th century Spanish conquistadors, such as Pedro de Valverde, Juan Ponce de Leon, or Cortez from The Road to El Dorado. Chat to a spooky old man with red eyes in a bar. He gives the metal mask dude a magical box, and then we set off for adventure. We are a member of this guy's crew, and now the character creation begins. It's actually a very nice transition from cinematic to creation, but unlike more modern character creation engines, there are no sliders. You've got several preset faces and feature shapes, some hairstyles, and a few hair colours. Not the best, not the worst. But what I'm thinking right now, and this thought will come up again often, is this doesn't feel like something made by a $1 trillion company. Character made and we log in. Now, I'm lucky to be playing at low load times because these queues on launch day were insane. Some people were waiting up to an hour, and as we'll see later, this game's servers are made of tissue paper and wishes.
I didn't have that many problems with the servers. Like, I think I had one crash on the first day of the beta. I did stayed in queue for over an hour. We played stories too while we were waiting in queue. Pretty fun.
Cinematic, the whole ship is destroyed by a huge stone pillar rising out of the sea, and we wash up on the beach and the game begins. WASD movement, space to jump, but as we approach the captain we get attacked and combat controls are shown via a quick time event. I don't hate this. It gives us the basics and lets us see the effect of each click. Nice and simple. Right mouse blocks, left mouse attacks, hold left click for heavy attack, press shift to dodge. You've got a stamina bar that's used up when dodging or blocking. It's basically cheap Dark Souls. Have a chat with the captain. He wants his box back, but instead of waiting decides to melt. Doesn't even give us his sweet mask. Shame. Tab opens your inventory. This is laid out really nicely. 1 and 2 hotkeys bound to your main and secondary weapons. Quick item slots assigned to 3, 4, and 5.
I mean,
Armor
these
and
are all
skilling
things that I was
equipment are
already aware
shown.
of.
We equip a shield as the tutorial forces us to. We eat some food and then get exploring. How to describe combat. Imagine you ordered Dark Souls from Wish. This is what would arrive. Once you've clicked an attack, there is no animation cancelling. You can't block or roll away from an attack animation once you've started. And the enemy has no real telegraphing of attacks. There's no audio or visual clue they're going to attack. They just start the attack, and if you block a split second too late, you get hit. You just kind of need to know when to block. It's not bad by any means, it's perfectly serviceable. Now, I personally love Dark Souls combat, and I appreciate the slower, more tactical nature of choosing your move and living with the consequences of choosing the wrong one. But if you're after a more reaction-based action combat system, this will feel somewhat clunky and unresponsive. Kill this elite dude and get a skill point. Using a weapon increases your skills in it, and all weapon skills level separately, so you get better at whatever you use. I like this system. It rewards time and effort invested into your chosen style. Have a quick meander up this hill and we're greeted with the in-game actual start, and honestly, graphics graphics are nice, music is great,
The graphics are
atmosphere is
very
lovely,
good.
combat is decent, UI is clean, it feels good.
The music was actually glitched on the first day for most people, I think, which was kind of awkward because running around with no music made the game feel empty from a sound perspective, but they fixed it later, so it's not really a big deal.
Good, but it still doesn't feel like $1 trillion company has made it good. But I am still holding out hope. I mean, these guys made Airport Mania HD. I am sure they can deliver on the world's greatest MMO. So the game takes place on the Isle of Aeternum, and as we descend into this pit, we get to see the issue with Aeternum. The island is surrounded and sometimes covered in this stuff called corruption. And here's our old captain friend. He has been corrupted, and now we fight him. This is the first moment I start both having fun and feeling disappointed. This fight isn't bad from a superficial standpoint. Animations are smooth, combat sounds are nice, atmosphere is great.
Animations are not smooth. I don't know what you're smoking. Animations that, like, look, the animations in this game are serviceable, not smooth.
But mechanically, it's very bare bones. Light attack, block, sometimes roll. This is a set piece of your game's opening and it feels somewhat lackluster. Halfway through the fight, the captain blasts us with a beam of light and we are teleported inland. Now, depending on your server or your real-life location or just how Jeffrey is feeling on any given day, you can actually start in a few separate places. Now, each start is basically identical. You'll have the same quests given to you by differently named but identical NPCs and you will learn the same skills.
And this is actually one of the problems that I have with the game. The beginning experience, I think, is actually terrible. The very start of the game, in my opinion, is actually not good because everybody is running around the same area doing the same quests. And it's like, for a game that started out, at least it seems to me like the idea of this game earlier on was for it to be much more of a sandbox experience. For them to just shoehorn in like a theme park quest line, which is kind of like what you refer to this type of quest line. It's a theme park. It's supposed to like take you around so that you can see all of the rides and all of that stuff. I thought it was terrible. And the worst part is that from my understanding, in the beta, you actually have to do these quests because you need them in order to get the, what was it? The staff of what? There's like a staff of something that you get that enables you to close the corruption rifts or whatever. So you need to actually do this quest line at least up until the point where you get this staff, where you get a recipe to create these staves or whatever. And this quest line is pretty much, to me, the worst part of the whole game. Like, if they were to just let me, like, look, just go out and go kill a bear. That, to me, would have been more fun and engaging than, hey, let's everybody go do this quest line that literally everybody and their mother is going to be doing. And even if not everybody and their mother is doing it, even if you're doing it alone, it's not great because it's literally a quest line where you're going, let's say, like, look, here's an NPC. Like, imagine Solaire, right? Like, give me just a second here. So, like, here's Solaire. This is the NPC that's going to give you your quests. So what do? Hey, Solaire, give me a quest. Okay. Wait, let me actually get another quest. Wait. This is us, the Rook. The Rook is freaking awesome, right? So here's Solaire, and you go like, Solaire, give me a quest. It's like, okay, go get me this book that's like all the way over there. Okay. And you go over there, you get the book, and then you come back. Hey, Solaire, I got your book. Hey, that's great. Now listen, go over there on the exact other direction and go kill 3 zombies. Okay. 3 zombies are dead. Hey, Solaire, give me another quest. Yeah, go kill a pig, like on the other direction. Okay. Hey, Solaire, I killed a pig. Yeah, good. Go over here to the bonfire in front of me and roast the pig. Okay. I roasted the pig, Solaire. Yeah, that's great. Now go to this ship off in the distance and go get me, I don't know, something, another MacGuffin. Okay. hey, I got it. And it's like, this is your first, like, 5 to 10 hours of gameplay. And that's the problem that I have with it. Because, like, the actual game itself is fun. When if I was not constrained by this quest line, and I was just allowed to, arrive into this world and go off and, like, go kill a bear, get its pelt, craft some armor. If it was more like that, it would have been more interesting to me than doing these crappy fetch quests. And it's like, the thing is, how often you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know if you guys played it or not, but you go back and forth so much. It's crazy. So it's like, wow. It's like a theme park MMO. The thing is, it doesn't feel like it was designed to be that.
Now here's the biggest difference between this PvP and crafting focused territory control MMO and all of the other PvP and crafting focused territory control MMOs. New World actually has something resembling a plot, or a narrative and an adventure line that you can follow to learn the basics. You know when people say, this game doesn't hold your hand? Well, I've explained before, that's an awful way to introduce new players to your world. You need a small amount of hand holding until the player is confident enough to go and play solo, and New World does seem to hit that balance quite nicely.
Nope, I disagree. New World not only grabs your hand, grabs your feet, it puts you in a cart and then just like pushes you around all over the fucking island. Like, you don't even have to walk. This is probably why your character doesn't have a proper walking animation. He's actually being dragged along by that starting player quest line.
No minimap, but there's also no auto-pathing. There is a compass to the top and a green mainline quest symbol to guide you though. The early quests are all voice acted, and the voice acting is fine. It's not fantastic, it's just fine. Maybe some of the voice acting budget went on Jeff's soft little space booties, which I can only assume are lined with mink and probably light up as he runs. And now a small movement issue. It seems the motion capture budget ran out mid-stride because running forward takes
really
about 3
never
steps
happened
and
to
then
me.
locks you into this position. And this isn't just me. Others are gliding around like this too. Now, full
I think
disclosure,
this might be a
didn't happen
GPU
when
problem.
I played a few days ago. But I'm recording now, and it's happening now, so this is what the world gets to see. If you run sideways, it's still fine. This only happens when you run directly forward. As you explore, gather resources and fight, you'll level up, and you can spend your level up points on one of 5 skills: strength, dexterity, intelligence, focus, and constitution. Each stat actually shows you what weapon it affects. This is really nice design and makes choosing where to put your points much simpler. Movement with a weapon drawn is not only still bugged, but actually much, much funnier. This NPC sends me on a cooking quest, and we get to open the journal. The quest journal is
this is the
actually
cooking
fine,
quest I told you
cleanly laid
about.
out, easy to follow and read. For all the mechanical issues the game has, the UI design is not one of them. Same goes for the map. The landmass is actually pretty small compared to other self-described hardcore PvP MMOs, which is a welcome relief. Too many MMOs make the map massive, but forget
I don't think that in the beta we had access to the full map, though.
to put anything in it. A giant open space doesn't mean anything if there's nothing to happen in that space. But oh, here's a nice feature. Resource spots, such as iron or flint or wood, aren't shown on the map, but they are shown in relation to a topographical key. You can see the resources you need and then locate the type of land you'll find it in. That would be a brilliant system if the majority of colours on the map weren't an almost identical shade of light brown. So as you adventure around Eternum, you'll find skilling spots to interact with, shown by the little circle symbol. If you press E, you'll interact with them, pulling up a bush or cutting down a tree, and it does actually affect the in-game model, which is a really nice touch. As far as skilling is concerned, it's basically like giant 3D RuneScape, and that's not a bad thing. Pull up some plants, gather some sticks, and pick some flint up from the floor. Have to admit though, the casual in me is really missing having a mini-map. I don't think that would ruin what you're going for here, game. Mini-maps are normally quite well received. Back at the quest giver NPC, we use the campfire to craft. You can craft various things at major crafting stations in town. Everything from armor to weapons to ammunition is all craftable. It is entirely possible and indeed encouraged to be self-sufficient in this game, and the crafting menu is, again, really nicely laid out. Recipes on the left, selected one shown in the middle with what you need, and crafting button on the right. Nice and simple.
Crafting has actually received a bit of an overhaul since the last beta, which was The last beta was a little bit weird when it came to crafting. Like, in order for you to craft the sword, it almost felt like you needed to get a college degree. It's like, oh, you have to craft the haft of the sword, and then you have to craft the hilt, and then you have to craft the blade, and then you have to, like, put it all together. And this time around, you're just like, no, here's some iron ingots, a little bit of wood, and boom, out comes a sword. And to me, give me that system.
We've made a knife from the gathered materials, and now we need to hunt a boar for some food, so we silently skate up to this unsuspecting boar like the ninja we are, and it doesn't even fight back. Like the boar doesn't even care that it's being attacked. Press E to gut the boar, gather some meat, and run back to the camp. At this point, I'm actually...
Notice how he's describing the quest that I talked about, you know, go kill a pig and bring me the meat and cook the meat. This is exactly what I was talking about, the quest sequence. And notice how he's going to the same NPC again. Notice how many times he's gone back and forth between this goddamn NPC.
Ways everywhere because it looks less stupid than just gliding around. Cook the food into better food, then get sent off to search a shipwreck. Environments are lovely. Music
search a shipwreck for a MacGuffin.
Light rays and reflections
Go get me
and
a
textures
MacGuffin.
on everything look nice. The actual level design is top-notch. It's just the moment-to-moment gameplay, the combat, and the general server status that's really letting this game down right now. First impressions are good, apart from the mechanics. Around the land randomly, usually guarded by enemies, you'll find supply caches. Search them to get stuff, from ammo to weapons to armor.
And most quests will have, like, you know, whenever a quest tells you, find me 5 items from this location, you need to find 5 of these boxes to go get those items. Which is, again, one of those things that it's not that interesting. It's like you go to a location, kill 5 dudes, find 5 items, and that's what you got to do. You kill the 5 dudes, and then you find 5 of these boxes, and you loot them, and you get the 5 items that you need. It's like, it's not particularly interesting questing structure. And again, I feel like it would benefit from being more of a sandbox experience of letting players just, like, experiment. Just let us go out into the world and do stuff.
Basically a little reward for exploring and fighting. Talking of fighting, it's average. There are moments it shines, like when you've memorized an enemy's attack patterns and you can block or roll at the right time, wasting no time in dispatching them, or when you can chain a heavy attack and an ability to kill them quickly. Like, it's not a bad system, it's just... this game was made by $1 trillion company. I'd expect something better than I've ever seen before, and that's one of the issues we'll come back to. The game is good, but it's not better than anything currently already out there. Here's a feature I quite like. Travelling to a new landmass shows you the suggested level of the area you've just arrived at in general, but there's nothing to stop you from travelling anywhere. See, this is the perfect amount of hand-holding. The game is saying, hey, I'm not going to stop you doing this, but just so you're aware, it's suggested for this level. It's giving the player all the information they need and then letting them make their own choice. It's the freedom to listen to advice or to ignore it, and this is great. There is a more elite enemy on the ship deck. They've got a shield, so you need to use a heavy attack to break the shield block. Some actual tactics, I like this. Another treasured cache gets me a cool spear. And then I get chased by a load of zombies. Again, I like this. It means even at low level, it's a very lethal MMO. You aren't unkillable. I actually wonder what PvP is like. I promise I will do some PvP before the video ends. Oh, awesome. The first spear skill is a throw, like a javelin. And you have to parkour over the ship's broken frame to gather some quest items. And oh damn, the spear throw hitbox is actually really nice. Projectiles are traveling 3D models and the enemy hitboxes are mapped really close to the enemy model. This level of accuracy is essential in an action game to make it feel fair. A few more quests get me a bow, and then I'm sent to explore a local cave. The main problem here is wielding a bow makes the leg running glitch worse. It looks like I'm skiing along with one ski. In the cave, in quite an awesome touch, 3 of us seem to form this rather impromptu group. We don't talk to each other, we just communicate in the classic MMO way of jumping around and fighting the same stuff. And then, just as this unspoken bond of camaraderie grows almost as powerful as a spaceship engine, we reach the boss and the others run off and leave me alone like a forgotten Amazon parcel. The chaplain boss is pretty cool actually. Some minions, some attacks to dodge, my spear throw has a stun effect, so that's nice, and killing him gets me some more loot. This is basically what the PvE aspect of this game seems to be. Find some corrupted, powerful NPCs guarding treasure, kill them, get treasure. Back outside, I received some territory points. With most of the PvP gameplay being focused on area control, your faction can own land masses or cities. And as you do stuff in each territory, you can earn territory points to unlock certain buffs while in that territory, like reduced trading tax on some market boards, increased experience, or more faction reputation gained when you do stuff. This is an interesting system that rewards map exploration, and we'll have to wait and see if it has engaging long-term benefits. Oh, you can also fast travel to places you've unlocked, but you need to spend a resource to do it, and I don't have any of that resource. But I really like this system. It means early game travel is essential, but late game travel gives you the choice of paying to get to places you've already been quicker. It's
the problem with this system is that one of their initial conversations about the store, the game store, was that they were planning on making it easier for people to travel through the cash shop. So to me, I believe the thing that makes the most sense, there's a resource that you have. I forget what the name of the resource, like this blue vial looking thing. And that is what you spend in order to travel. And I think that they are considering potentially selling that. And that would be bad.
Cost versus reward. Again, it's kind of similar to Dark Souls 1 with the Lord Vessel. The gameplay you've seen was recorded on a new account made to redo the starting zone, but I'm switching back to my main account because I've got a cool pirate costume and I want to do some PvP. The game has all the standard comforts of home, a personal bank account known as a storage shed, a market board auction house where players can buy and sell things, and honestly the town ambience is terrific. The armour and weapons are grounded and just stylised enough to be interesting without being garish. The general graphical style of the Spanish conquistadors is held really well. The colour palette of the bright green foliage contrasted with the darkened timber is visually gorgeous. There's a wealth of smaller touches like ferns and birds and tapestries hanging around. Visually, the towns are really fleshed out and they are a joy to walk around. The soundtrack is so well fit, you don't even notice how much it's enhancing the overall ambience. They have knocked environmental design out of the park. I mean, they've basically sent it into space, which is great because now Jeffrey can also enjoy it. And now comes the Join a Faction moment. It's a territory control PvP game, so of course there are 3 factions who all absolutely hate each other and stand for different things, yet all somehow coexist in the same town. You've got the Marauders, big angry shouty boys who want to smash you in the face with the hammer of freedom. The Covenant, who are all religious zealots and want to hand out free hugs and see the good in everyone despite the fact there are literal zombies eating people's faces. And the clearly superior Syndicate, who are a bunch of super smart boys who think magic is cool and maybe we should try using that.
Of
quick
course.
bug, running toward a set of steps doesn't actually cause you to descend them properly by keeping you on the floor. You just shoot off the end and then crumple into a pile on the floor. This is dumb. Fix this. So I joined the Syndicate boys, flag myself for PvP and head out into the wild. The global chat is saying something about a fort to the east being attacked, so I get jogging. I may only be one man with a musket, but I can hang back and snipe like the best of them. On my way there, I run into someone from the opposite faction, flagged for PvP. He is a higher level than me, with more money, more weapons, and more armour. He seems superior to me, but I think I can win. He's Bezos, I'm Branson. Let's do this.
Nice. You shouldn't have rolled ahead there. Get him, get him, get him. Get him, Josh. Yeah, shoot him in the face. In the face. Yeah, you got him.
Damn, I actually won. I'm going to be real with you, I did not expect to win that fight. I guess that just goes to show, while warhammers may be intimidating, spears are the best medieval weapon. Thanks, Lindy Beige. The fort is far to the east still, so I get running through higher level areas, avoiding roaming enemies, sometimes fighting them, and then we face the biggest hurdle so far, the most difficult enemy in the entire beta. The lag. Seriously, are the servers you are using made of the finest potato? Because it's been dire. Every world is lagging. Everyone is crashing. If this is a stress test, how many people were you actually expecting to play? You are a $1 trillion company. You've been advertising this game for 5 years. How were you surprised when people wanted to play the beta? Every MMO launch ever has been met with day one lag. You should have been prepared for this. Eventually the lag subsides and I build a camp. These are your mobile respawn points. You just need a few sticks and some flint and you can build them anywhere as long as you're not too close to civilization. And just as I'm about to heal up and go and join the Fort Assault team, the server completely crashes. Only the finest potato, eh, Jeff? The finest potato. Right, so, New World. While I was streaming this a few days ago, I had a really good time. The environmental design is quality, the ambience is really immersive, and the UI design, both overlay and in menus, is fantastic. It's got enough guidance and early game quests to teach players all the basics, then it's got a fair amount of PvE content like map completion and achievement hunting that you've always got a goal to aim for. You've even got the daily resource quests you can collect from any of the main towns. The crafting is simple to understand but covers a wide variety of weapons, armor and food that setting up your own build and kitting out your own inventory is going to take you a while. It's a solid adventure game. The PvP element right now seems fine, it's just being held back by the lag. The fact that I could defeat a higher level using movement and tactics shows it's not just number versus number. Skill does actually seem to matter, or it did when I was fighting. My main concern is Amazon is a $1 trillion company. This beta is a month away from full release and it's just not on the same level of quality
not anymore
as the current big MMOs. It's not got the storytelling and plot focus of Final Fantasy XIV. It's not got the depth of builds and deep lore of The Elder Scrolls Online. It's not got the platforming of Guild Wars 2. I can't comment on the endgame because I don't think anyone's got there yet. It's not a fully hardcore PvP focused game like Mortal Online 2 or a fully PvE focused game like Neverwinter. It's a decent adventure game.
See, the more he describes it, like, you get this idea that they had this thing that they wanted to do when they got started, which was the much more focused, PvP, hardcore PvP, territory control, and all of that. And that was like kind of their initial design philosophy. But as they kept on developing the game, they're like, well, actually, let's not go as hardcore onto PvP. Let's still do the zone control. Let's make PvP optional. Let's introduce more PvE elements. Let's, introduce a theme park thing. And it just feels like they're just throwing darts at a wall and seeing which one sticks. So like, oh, let's see if this sticks. Let's see if this sticks. And it just seems like they're generalizing it too much. Like I said, I am interested in playing it. I'm probably going to be playing it when it comes out because I'm curious about, how long this would keep me playing and whatnot, because I did enjoy some aspects of it. But, at the same time, it feels like they're trying to reach for so many different things. They're putting their fingers in so many different pies that they're not focusing on specializing on any particular thing. And I think that's eventually going to be what makes it less interesting.
Game with decent enough graphics and voice acting and decent enough combat, but it doesn't yet do any single thing better than anyone else. Imagine if this game didn't have the Amazon name behind it and it launched from some no-name studio. Would it still be making the waves it is? Probably not. I think Amazon are using their name recognition to get people to play, and they have the foundation for a really, really good MMO here, but it needs a bit more polish, some animation bugs fixing, tightening up the combat and speeding up some of the animations and sorting out the terrible lag. If Amazon are willing to invest time and effort into this game, it could be something fantastic. I can see the potential, but as it stands, I don't know what type of MMO player you want to appeal to.
Exactly.
I don't see it dragging players.
The answer to that question is literally everyone. They're trying to appeal to literally everyone. And like I usually say, you make a game for everyone and you make a game for no one.
Away from any established game because it doesn't do any one thing better than anything else. It's not PvE or PvP focused enough to really hyper-focus and capture that demographic. It seems to be trying to be quite good at everything instead of an industry leader at anything. When the game releases, I'll review it again, and I'll give it a score out of 10. But until then, I will be grinding away, enjoying my time, because it's not a terrible game, it's just not there yet. I also need to think of a way to repay the spiffing Brit for getting me the beta key. Hopefully he'll be happy with a box of tea bags and doesn't need me to do something stupid for a video idea. But until we know, cheers for watching. A massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. You can support from just £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.
It's a pretty good video. I was actually expecting him to have played maybe a little bit more. But, you know, it's still more perspective. And, yeah, I do agree with a lot of the stuff that he says. But I do feel one of the things that I didn't agree with was how hand-holdy it is at the start. I wish it wasn't as hand-holdy, and I wish it wasn't as restrictive, because they do really push that main quest on you. And it's just not a very interesting quest. It's just like, oh, go here, do this, go here, do that. Which I know you can say, oh, but that's like every MMO. And you're right. But like, wouldn't it be cool if considering that New World is trying to do some things differently, wouldn't it be cool if they did more things different? You know? Wouldn't it be cool if they did away with this idea of the theme park main quest that everybody has to do? Just like set players free on the world and see what happens. Like that, I think, is more interesting. Like, still leave the quests that you have in town, because in town you have like these quest boards that you can go to, and they'll give you like quests for go kill 10 boars, go pick up 5 things, or whatever. And you do those and you get currency. So yeah, leave those in. But the main quest, I feel like, is a little bit too much, and it's long. Like, I remember, because this time I did more main quest than I did during the previous alpha, and a lot of the main quest was like, go over here, and then eventually they start giving you the resource for you to teleport, right? But there's a hard cap on that resource. You can only have like 1,000 of it, and they keep giving you more, so they're incentivizing you to use the teleport system. And at one point I realized that what I was doing was the same thing that I was doing at the start that I showed you guys with the 2 amiibo, which was going like, oh, go over here and do this. Except instead of doing it close to the NPC that I was doing it, the NPC was like across the map. So it's like, teleport here, talk to this NPC. Now go 1,000 miles that way. And now teleport here again and talk to the NPC. And it was always like, go here, talk to this NPC, go back. And you're always going back and forth with the same NPC. And I didn't think it was very good in that specific aspect, because, you know, the actual combat went out was somewhat fun. But I've also heard from people that, you know, there's very few tactics in some of the instanced content that they did. And that I could also see becoming a problem because of the simplistic nature of the combat. But I don't know.